I graduated from the Beaufort Bible Institute, just a small local church Bible institute, back in 1999. Um, and I'll never forget when I was studying the Bible and preparing for the ministry to serve the Lord. I became obsessed with this subject about the King James Bible and the underlying text, the history behind the different types of texts, and all of this, and all the arguments involved, the differences between the King James Bible and all of the modern versions. And I just became fascinated with that subject. And I would get my hands on anything that I could read from folks on both sides of the fence. Any author that had anything to say about the King James Bible, either good or bad, I would read it, and I loved the subject. I was fascinated by it, and after studying it, even after I graduated, I still found it to be a fascinating subject to this day. Ever since 1999 when I graduated, and it never left me. And I'll never forget at one point I was even considering maybe I need to do something with all this information. So maybe what I'll do is I'll write a book on it because there was just so much information. And but I began to realize that so many people have written a book on the subject of the King James Bible. And so I just thought to myself, well, maybe it's not necessary to rehash what other better people than I have done such a good job of explaining in their works. And so I never wrote a book on or anything like that. But then the Lord called me to the mission field, and I felt like, okay, so here's the reason why I was so fascinated with all this, because I really believe that the Lord was doing this in my heart and stirring me up in my spirit to study these things out and get to the bottom of this issue about the purity of the text of the King James Bible and the differences and all this. I felt like the Lord was doing this in my life and doing it for a reason so that I can use this information to help somebody. And so when I went to the mission field, I began to realize that there was a battle that was raging there when it came to the Spanish Bible, and very hot and controversial subject, and still is to this day. And so I became involved with that controversy, mainly to just try to help folks with coming to an understanding of the differences, why we stand for what we stand for, what are the differences, why do these differences exist. And so I tried my best to use what I had learned to help others in the Spanish speaking world to understand these issues. And then back in 2020, the Lord brought me back to the United States, and I never thought that I would. That the Lord would bring me back to minister in the U.S. I thought I was going to die on the mission field, and I would have been content with that. I loved the mission field. I loved what I was doing. But the Lord made it very clear that He wanted me to come back, and now I'm pastoring here in the United States, and it's an honor to do so. And I'm very grateful that the Lord would use me anywhere. But since coming back to the United States, so much has changed. And but one thing that I have noticed, one thing that has not changed, is when it comes to the battle over the Bible and Bible versions, the King James Bible only, all of the arguments involved with that, that battle has not died down. As a matter of fact, in recent days, to the time of the making of this video, this battle rages on. It is as hot today as ever before. And so the Lord lately I feel like He's been speaking to my heart and stirring me up about wanting to use the information and things that I've learned. And it's, there's many other preachers that are doing a very good job of getting the truth out when it comes to the King James Bible and why we stand for what we stand for on the King James Bible. but I really believe the Lord is stirring me up in my spirit to want to contribute what I can to the discussion. And going back to what I was saying about maybe putting things into book form, which I do plan to do. I've come to the realization that we can't put enough information out there on this issue. And one of the reasons why is because there's a whole new generation coming on the scene. There's a lot of books that I came up with that are not even in print anymore. Okay. Hopefully they will get back into print. And I know good brethren that are making the effort to put some of that material back into print. But I'm realizing that there's a new generation coming on the scene and they need the information today just like I needed it back then. And so uh the interesting thing about these modern times though is everything has become digital. I was just having a conversation with the media team. They're here recording this before the making of this video about how everything has gone technological and digital. We're in this digital age, and this is the way information is is being promoted nowadays. And so I really believe we need to get on the ball as King James Bible believers when it comes to getting good material out, not just through books. Books are irreplaceable. Books will always be a thing, I believe. So let's continue to put out as much good literature as we can that promotes the truth. But we need to get on the ball when it comes to getting things out there in the social media world. And the reason why is because that's where everyone is. That's where everyone is at these days. And so we need to get this information to them. And so for that reason, we are going to kick off a whole new series of videos that we're going to call KJV-Only Talking Points. And all we're simply going to do with this new series of videos is I want to do some shorter videos. Okay, now we have some longer videos that we're making available on our YouTube channel. Go through our YouTube channel in our Adult Sunday School hour for the past 6 months. We've been teaching more in depth about the history and the background of the King James Bible, and we're going to continue with that series and discussing all of the arguments involved with the Bible text issue. Okay, but those are longer videos. We want to kick off a whole new series of shorter videos to just focus in on different talking points of the issue. There are so many different arguments, so many different ways and angles to come at this subject. And so we're going to do our best to cover all of them eventually through some shorter videos that we're going to call KJV Only Talking Points. Now, someone might be asking, Brother Manny, why are you guys putting so much effort into this subject? Okay, shouldn't we focus on other subjects? Well, on our YouTube channel, we want to focus on all subjects that are important. So stay tuned. We're doing the very best we can to produce some good material for your edification. Okay, we have over 1,000 videos now. Last time I checked on our YouTube channel to the time of the making of this video, covering a wide array of subjects. So this is not the only subject that we talk about, but we are going to make great emphasis on the Bible issue because this is the foundation of all that we are and everything that we believe. The Bible is our foundation. And the Bible, there's a great verse. One of my favorite verses in Psalm 119, verse 140, the Bible says, "Thy word is very pure. Therefore thy servant loveth it." Purity is important. It is our responsibility as the Church of Jesus Christ to promote and to protect the purity of the scriptures, just like it was the responsibility of the saints of old in the preservation of the scriptures to defend the purity and the honor of God's words. Brethren, that hasn't gone away. The battle rages on. This is our responsibility, and people need to understand the difference between what is pure and what is corrupt. It's our responsibility to make that distinction. And so in this series of videos, we're going to discuss the differences between the pure manuscripts versus the corrupt manuscripts. the pure underlying text that we call the received text versus the corrupt critical text, the pure King James Bible, yea, perfect, the perfect, infallible, inerrant King James Bible, as opposed to all the other versions of the Bible in English that are corrupt. We are going to put forth some material to make those distinctions and to deal with all the arguments involved. And we're going to call it KJV only talking points. And I hope that they will be a blessing to you. I hope that they will be edifying. God bless you.